Hello everyone. This is Sue, your Feng Shui consultant. Thank you for coming back to this training. This is day 3, and we are on the 6-day training marathon of Feng Shui hacks for solopreneurs. So on day 1 and day 2, on day 1 we talk about what constitutes of luck and how you can understand all the elements that are involved. And on day 2, we talk about how we can raise our intuitive power so that, because in essence, when we're trying to align ourselves with the divine energies, having a strong intuition is the key. And then today, we will talk about an aspect that most feng shui practitioner or even those people who are teaching metaphysics won't talk about, which is about our inner critic, which is the psychology part of having your own business. And then we'll try to understand from the lens of metaphysics and see if there's any trick we can use to tame our inner critic. So if you are an entrepreneur or you are eager to be one, then this thought might have come to your mind. Like, um, maybe I'm too old, too young, too fat, too skinny to do this. I'm not smart enough. I'm too shy. I don't like talking in front of camera. I don't like public speaking. Or you would have self-doubts on who I'm going to teach this. Can I really survive to start my own business? Will I end up sleeping on the street? Things like that. So these kind of inner critics could be eating up your confidence bit by bit. Let's just use myself as an example. So I have been on this entrepreneurial journey for 5 years for now. And before that, I have a decade-long work history in the corporate world, working for multinational companies as a human resources professional. So obviously, working for large corporation and versus working on your own business is so different. And I always thought that entrepreneurship is not just about the right strategies. It's actually even more about winning the inner battles. And I always jokingly tell my friends that starting my own business feels like I am enrolling into a very intense self improvement program, which the curriculum is decided by me. And a lot of times, strategy alone doesn't win the game, because I believe a lot of you would agree that entrepreneurship is more about winning inner battles. Because before we can execute the best strategy that we know, we have to feel aligned to execute them. When we feel overwhelmed, we won't do that. When we have hesitation in our heart, we won't take the leap of faith. We don't take the risk, even if that's worth it. That's worth that there could be a potentially high return on investment. When we have too much resistance inside us, our energy force are not aligned on the same level, so that when we are acting out, trying to make that work, because the energy force is scattered, usually the results is not as good as we wish it. So I always tell my friends that entrepreneurship is actually not for the faint at heart, because you need a lot of emotional resilience to handle all the ups and downs, to handle all the uncertainty, all the unknown, and to have the courage to experiment and to accept the results of your occasionally failed experiments. So when your inner voice is getting louder and louder, can you differentiate whose voice is it? Because possibly that voice could resemble a parent, that could resemble a teacher or an authority figure in your childhood, or it could be the mean girl next door. So this is perfect that if you can identify whose voice is it, who are talking to you inside your head, who keep criticizing you, trying to keep you small so that you are not exposing yourself to potential risks and failures, then it will be easier for you to befriend with that inner voice, because this is just a part of you trying to protect you in her own way. Not necessarily in a way that you like, in a style that you like, but the intention is good. It's just to protect you. So, from the lens of metaphysics, can we tell who are more susceptible to self sabotaging? Well, we can use the four pillars astrology, which is also called the Baji astrology. So, basically, if you're interested to find out if you are susceptible to a self sabotaging structure, you can input your birth data to generate a birth chart, and then we can see if you got that structure. So you can use the website, it's free. This is called baji-calculator.com, and then you just input your name, your gender. Choosing your gender is important because the formula is slightly different. And then you will inputting your birth year, birth time, birthday, and birth hour, and then click calculate. For this purpose, you can leave out the time zone and latitude stuff. You just leave it blank and just input the gender, birth, year, month, day, hour, and click calculate. And then when you scroll down the screen on this website, you'll find a chart like that. So what we are looking for would be on the second row, which if you find you have a double of either dragon or horse or rooster or pig, then we will consider you to have this self-sabotaging structure in your birth chart. Translation is that you are a perfectionist by birth, which you would have a high a strong voice of your inner critic, and you could also be potentially having self-sabotaging behavior, meaning you know what you need to do, you know what is good for you, but you are just not doing that. So if you are born with this structure, you just need more awareness and to recognize that, okay, this inner critic is taking control, is taking the driving seat right now. Am I going to let that inner critic take the driving seat, or should I be the one who take the driving seat? And then you can decide. All right. So back on this chart, in the example, you can see in this chart there are two horse in the chart, right? So if you have two dragon, two horse, two rooster, or two pig, then you consider having this kind of structure. So if you have one dragon, one rooster, that doesn't count. All right. So even if you have that self-sabotaging structure in your birth chart, it doesn't matter, because this is quite common, honestly, especially among artists, among musicians, among those inventive people who keep experimenting for their inventions. So this is a pretty common, and I mean, perfectionist nature, it's could be good, could be doing for good. You just have to be more aware of taking care of yourself. So if after this exploration you find out that you do not have that self-sabotaging structure in your birth chart, however, you still have some kind of inner critic and it is influencing you, then this is much easier to tackle, because you are not If when you're not born with that structure, it means that you're only getting the external influence onto you. So the it could be the social environment, it could be on your social media, it could be your upbringing, but these are all the influence from the external world. So it will be easier to tackle and will be easier to recognize them when that inner critic is getting too loud. So one trick that I personally find really, really useful is that first you would train your awareness. So you are not the voice in your head. You have to recognize that you are the boss behind all the different voices in your head. So there will be a really playful side of you who would just want to play and do not want to work. There will be a part of you who are really angry about what is going on in the world, who want social justice, who want who really want to protect the underprivileged. There's also a part of you who are very business driven, very sensitive to numbers, who are really driven to achieve your goal. And then there's a part of you who are very critical, who is trying to keep you small in order to protect you. So there are different parts of us, and none of this represent you as a whole person. So you are actually the big boss behind all this voice. So a trick that I keep using that I find really, really powerful is that when my inner critical voice is getting too loud, I would just have a voice over them and to imagine their voice be like the minions, like so that when they are talking in such funny voice, in such cartoonish voice, you couldn't help but find it humorous and funny to hear them speaking some kind of rambling to trying to protect you. Yeah. So when you imagine the humor side of that inner critic voice, it is not that scary. It won't bother you that much, and it definitely won't take a driver's seat when you do that. So you can try this trick. This is a psychology trick, not something related to metaphysics. But the next tip that I'm giving you is related to Feng Shui. So from the lens of Feng Shui, can we flip this around? The answer is yes, because every year we will have our annual Feng Shui flying star arrangements. Meaning that so there are different stars who are taking care of different areas in our life, and they will rotate every year and to fall into a different sector in your house. So what we are looking for is the annual grand dude sector, meaning the big boss of the year. So the big boss of 2021 falls in the northeast sector, which is also the celebration star. So what we are doing to tame our inner critic and to increase our sense of authority so that we can become more certain about ourselves is to sit on the northeast sector inside your house or inside your room or office. So when you are sitting in the sector, make sure you are backed by a solid wall. So I always talk about this concept in my Feng Shui 101 trainings. It's that whenever you are choosing to sit for work, always choose a location where you can sit backing by a solid wall or solid cabinet. So making sure that there's no one can influence you from behind. There's no rendering space or stuff that could influence you from behind so that you feel more solid, you feel supported. from the back of your head. So this is really, really important because when there are too much space behind your head and behind your back, psychologically speaking, you will not feel safe. And it's very difficult for you to concentrate on what is in front of you. So when you feel like your inner critic is getting too strong, try to position yourself in the northeast sector of your house and then sit supported by a solid wall on your back. So I hope this tips helps. And as we've mentioned, we as entrepreneurs, whether you are solopreneurs or you are collaborating with your partners, we all need support. At the very beginning of our entrepreneurial journey, it seems like living the entrepreneurial life is a dream come true because we have the freedom to choose when we want to work, where do we want to work, how do we want to work, who do we want to work with and work for, how much do I want to charge, and we don't feel like it, we can not do any work at all and just chill. But when we are into it deep, we know it's not always true because number one, maybe your quote unquote co-workers at home are not cooperating. So in the COVID era, like now, we all have the so-called co-workers at home, right? Whether it's your spouse, it could be your children taking online classes, it could be your pet, it could be someone else within your living space, but they might not be as cooperating as you wish. Sometimes they even interrupt your boundaries and distract you from really focusing on what you have to do on your business. Number two, you could have been tried several online gigs for quite some time and still haven't find your way yet. So for some people, they might have been experimenting with blogging, with maybe um, some selling some brand name stuff, kind of like that, but haven't find a business model that suits them the best. Because from the metaphysics perspective, from your birth chart, we can actually see a lot of insights of your talents, of your personalities. And when we find out your strengths and weaknesses, as well as your wealth potential, we can figure out what kind of industry and business model could suit you the best. So it help you make a decision much easier and to help you narrow the gap of what you're going to experiment with when you are trying different kind of business gigs. Number three, energetically, you don't feel very aligned with the way that you do business. This is because, as we mentioned on days two training, your head and your mind is not aligned. And when your strategy and your heart is not aligned, it's very difficult for you to execute it perfectly. So either you would be hesitating or procrastinating from taking real action, or you would just take action like a robot. You will execute them like you are emotionless, but because of your energy um, is not conveying the passion that you should be having, the results would not do very well. So for businesses like what we're doing right now is a personal business, our personal energy and our passion have to be conveyed through our work, whether it's training like this one, whether it's ebook, whether it's online content. Our passion had to be shown and to be conveyed through the messages that we have. Otherwise, people can't really feel us and to feel the resonance with what we have to share. Number four, you might start to feel overwhelmed with all the duties and expectation on you as a mom, as a wife, as a daughter, and as a boss at the same time, and it's pretty overwhelming. I get this. So boundaries is very important, and finding ways to improve your wellness, your vitality, and your productivity, it's truly important. And that's why I'm teaching all this in my upcoming Feng Shui for Bosses program training, where I will teach you. The first module will be focusing on all the core principles. I will leave out all the unnecessary part and just teach you the meat of those principles. And with that foundation, you will then able to know how to feng shui your house for best results, for manifestation, and for you to work efficiently. We will also talk about marketing strategies. We will also look into your chart to see what kind of business model, what kind of wealth management, as well as industry that will suit you the best. And then we will also explore different kind of manifestation method, which we will talk more about tomorrow. So this is what I teach in the Feng Shui for Bosses program. And there's an extra module that we will talk about wellness, because I'm also trained as a traditional Chinese medicine wellness practitioner. So I teach a lot of wellness tips to help you improve your sleep, improve your vitality, and improve your the clarity of your mind in general. And then this year, I'm adding a new module, which I call it Manifestation 2.0, which I combine the art of Feng Shui, the art of day selection, as well as breath work, as well as the dream seeding. So I'm really, really excited to film this. It will be ready very soon. So on this module, you will learn how to combine feng shui and breath work and dream seeding. And by using it on really powerful days that I handpicked and hand selected for you, your manifestation will become much more powerful. And I'm really, really excited to share this kind of knowledge with you, so that you have all the tools that you need to launch your businesses and to manifest for good results, because your message is very important to the world, and I don't want you to let all that inner critics to silence you, to keep you from taking actions, to keep you from showing the world what you got. So now I would love to ask you to check if your living space is backing you up energetically. So from a score from 1 to 10, 10 is the highest, 1 is the lowest. What do you think? Do you think your living space is backing you up energetically? Give me a score today, and then tomorrow I will dive deeper on how you can assess and to do a quick audit of your living space to see if the living space is backing you up energetically or not. All right, so tomorrow we'll talk about this, and I would just love to announce that the Feng Shui for Bosses program this year and this round, I will be launching live, and the program will start on the 5th of July. So when I talk about launching this program live, it means that you get all the modules that I have for you, and then every week I will also do a live Q&A and live coaching to answer all the questions that you might have. So the card is open today. You can start exploring if you're interested or you have been eyeing on this program for quite some while, which were not open in previous months. So if you're curious, you can go to the website chooseflow.com/bosses, BOSSES. Is chooseflow.com/bosses. So if you're curious, you can check that out. I will talk more about the details of the program tomorrow, but for today, I just want to let you know that the program is now open for enrollment. So I will talk to you more today on the day 4 training, and we will talk about how to assess is your living space backing you up energetically or not. So see you tomorrow. Thank you and bye.